Hey there! I'm so glad you're here because today we're talking about one of those moments in life that can really catch you off guard. You're doing your thing, healing, growing, building a life that feels like yours again, and then, out of nowhere, bam! Their name pops up on your screen. Your ex is reaching out. It's a moment that can feel like time just stops. You feel your heart skip a beat, your mind starts racing, and in an instant, it's like you're transported back to a place you thought you'd left behind. You've probably been there. The flood of emotions, the endless questions swirling in your head. Should I answer? What does this mean? Are they sorry? Do they miss me? It's like stepping onto an emotional roller coaster, and suddenly the progress you've made feels like it's hanging by a thread. But here's the truth you need to hear, and really feel deep in your soul. This is your life, and you are in control of how this moment unfolds. Your ex reaching out doesn't mean they get a say in your peace, your growth, or your future. It doesn't matter why they're reaching out or what they want. What matters is how you respond. And that's what today's all about, making sure you don't give away your power. Because when your ex contacts you, it's more than just a text or a call, it's a test of how far you've come, how much you've learned, and how firmly you're standing in your truth. This moment is a chance to show yourself how strong, resilient, and deserving of peace you truly are. Think about it. Every step you've taken to heal, every hard day you've pushed through, it's all been leading to this. But let's be real, this is not easy. Sometimes the temptation to respond can feel overwhelming. Maybe you're curious. Maybe a part of you still wonders, what if? That's okay. It's normal to feel that pull. But here's the thing. You're not the same person you were when that relationship ended. You've grown. You've evolved. And now you have the opportunity to handle this situation with clarity and confidence, instead of letting it pull you back into emotional chaos. Today, I'm going to walk you through how to avoid the 7 biggest mistakes people make when their ex reaches out. These mistakes are the traps that can unravel your progress and leave you feeling stuck, questioning yourself all over again. But by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to navigate this moment with grace and strength. You'll be equipped to protect your energy, stay true to yourself, and move forward without losing sight of all the progress you've made. Before we dive in, I want to take a moment to remind you of something important. You are so much stronger than you think. Whether you've been working on yourself for months or you're just starting your healing journey, the fact that you're here means you're already taking steps to grow, and that's something to celebrate. So, let's set an intention right here, right now. In the comments below, share an affirmation for yourself, something that reminds you of your worth and your power. Here's mine. I am strong, I am whole, and I am the creator of my own peace. Take a deep breath. Let that sink in. You don't need your ex to validate your worth or to give you closure. You are whole, all on your own. The past doesn't define you, and it certainly doesn't control your future. This moment is about you, about standing firm in your progress, protecting your energy, and moving forward with confidence and clarity. So, let's get into it. When your ex reaches out, it can feel like a whirlwind. But together, we're going to make sure you handle it with the strength and grace you've been building. By the end of this, you'll have the tools to make sure their message doesn't shake your progress, and that you never make the 7 mistakes that can pull you back into emotional chaos. You're ready. Let's dive in. Mistake number 1. Letting emotions take the driver's seat. Your phone lights up, and there it is, their name, staring back at you. Your heart pounds, your mind races, and a wave of emotions surges through you. Excitement, fear, confusion, all at once. Without thinking, you grab your phone, type a quick reply, and hit send. Almost immediately, regret sets in. Does this sound familiar? It's the classic trap of letting your emotions take the wheel, where raw feelings override your better judgment. But here's the truth. When emotions are in control, you're not just reacting to them, you're giving away your power. Let's take a step back. Epictetus, the great Stoic philosopher, once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." You may not control when your ex decides to reach out, but you absolutely control how you choose to respond. And within that response lies your strength, your peace, and your dignity. When emotions take over, your reply is no longer a reflection of your growth. It becomes a reflex. Whether it's excitement, anger, or longing, impulsive responses often come across as reactive, ungrounded, or even needy. They send a message, yes, but it's rarely the one you intended. Worse, they leave you second-guessing yourself and wondering if you've given up more control than you realized. It's not just about the words you use. It's about what those words represent. Are they coming from a place of confidence and calm, or are they driven by insecurity and haste? Here's the secret. You don't have to respond right away. In fact, the best thing you can do in that moment is pause. When you see their name pop up, take a deep breath. Put the phone down. Resist the urge to reply immediately, no matter how strong the pull might feel. Instead, give yourself time, at least 24 hours, to reflect. Use this time not just to think about your response, but to process your emotions. Ask yourself, why does this message affect me so strongly? What do I really want from this situation? Am I seeking closure, validation, or something deeper? Taking this pause isn't about playing games or trying to control the narrative. It's about reclaiming control over yourself. By delaying your response, you're choosing to prioritize your energy, your peace, and your growth. It's a statement not just to your ex, but to yourself. I am no longer led by fleeting emotions. I am in control of how I show up in this world. Now imagine how empowering it feels to respond with clarity and intention. A calm, thoughtful reply doesn't just communicate your thoughts, it communicates your strength. It says, I am not here to react to your whims. I decide when and how I engage. That's the kind of energy that sets boundaries, protects your peace, and elevates your confidence. So the next time your phone buzzes and you feel that emotional rush, remember, you don't have to respond immediately. Take a step back. Breathe. Give yourself time to reflect and ground yourself. And when you do reply, let it come from a place of confidence and self-respect. Finally, let's reinforce this mindset. Drop an affirmation in the comments below. I am calm, deliberate, and in control. Because that's exactly who you are when you refuse to let emotions take the driver's seat. You've got this. Mistake number 2, waiting for them to give you closure. Let's be honest, when a relationship ends, there's often this lingering hope for one thing: closure. It's that elusive explanation that's supposed to magically make everything hurt less. You want answers to questions like, why did it end this way? Was it my fault? Or do they still think about me? You tell yourself that if they just explained, apologized, or gave you one last conversation, it would all make sense and you could finally move on. But here's the truth, and it might sting a little at first. Closure doesn't come from them. It comes from you. When you look to your ex for closure, you're handing them the reins to your healing journey. You're saying, I can't move forward until you grant me permission, and that's a dangerous game. Because more often than not, the closure you're hoping for either never comes, or if it does, it's incomplete, confusing, or unsatisfying. Their explanations won't undo the pain, and their apologies won't fix the broken pieces. Here's where Stoic wisdom steps in. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Seeking closure from your ex is an external event. It's beyond your control. But finding peace within yourself, that's always in your hands. Think about it. How many times have you replayed old conversations in your head, trying to dissect every word, searching for meaning? How often have you created fantasies of what you'd say if they came back, or what you'd do if they admitted their mistakes? The truth is, these mental loops don't bring you closer to healing. They keep you stuck. As Seneca reminds us, we suffer more in imagination than in reality. Closure isn't about getting their perspective or hearing their version of the story. Even if they gave you all the answers, would it really bring the peace you're searching for? Or would it leave you with even more questions? Closure isn't about understanding them. It's about accepting what happened and deciding to let go. It's about saying, "This chapter of my life is over, and I'm ready to move forward." Here's an exercise to help you reclaim your power. Grab a pen and paper and write a letter to your ex. Pour out every thought, every emotion, and every unanswered question. Be raw, be real. Say everything you've been holding on to, as if they're going to read it. And then, here's the twist. Don't send it. Instead, destroy it. Rip it up, burn it, or delete the file. This isn't about them. It's about you releasing the emotional weight you've been carrying. This act is symbolic. It's a way of saying, I don't need your answers to heal. I don't need your permission to move on. I am giving myself closure. Because the truth is, your healing doesn't depend on their words. It depends on your decision to let go. Why place your emotional freedom in the hands of someone who couldn't meet your needs in the relationship? Why let their silence, excuses, or even their explanations define your worth? You are whole, just as you are. You don't need their validation to rebuild your life. Closure isn't a gift they can give you. It's a gift you give yourself. Imagine the strength it takes to stand up and say, I am choosing peace over pain. I am choosing growth over regret. That's what closure really is. A decision to release the past and trust in your ability to create a brighter future. So the next time you catch yourself waiting for their words or their apology, pause and ask yourself, why am I giving them this power over me? Then take it back. You've got everything you need within you to heal, to grow, and to move forward. Now I want you to affirm this in the comments below. I am the author of my own peace. I don't need their closure. I create my own. Because you are stronger than the pain, wiser than the past, and braver than you realize. Mistake number 3. Falling back into familiar patterns. When your ex reaches out, it's easy to slip back into old habits without even realizing it. Maybe you always put their needs above your own, ignored red flags, or said yes to everything, even when it drained you. These patterns didn't serve you before, and they won't serve you now. Falling into the comfort of familiarity risks undoing the progress you've worked so hard to achieve. The person you're becoming deserves more: boundaries, respect, and relationships built on mutual effort and growth. Before you respond to that text or answer that call, pause and ask yourself, am I acting from a place of growth, or am I seeking the comfort of the past? Am I stepping back into this with clarity and strong boundaries, or out of loneliness? Growth isn't easy. It's uncomfortable because it asks you to choose what's best for you over what's familiar. The person you were when the relationship ended isn't who you are now. You've evolved. You've learned. And with that growth comes the power to break free from the patterns that held you back. Here's an exercise. Write down the habits you fell into during the relationship. Next to each one, write what you've learned and how you'll act differently now. This visual reminder will anchor you in your progress and keep you moving forward. Remember, nostalgia can make the past seem better than it was. It's okay to reflect on the good times, But don't forget the reasons you needed to move on. Growth means honoring the lessons of the past while staying committed to your future. You're not the same person anymore, and that's a good thing. Choose growth over comfort, because that's where your true strength lies. Mistake number 4, letting your self-worth depend on them. When your ex reaches out, it's easy to feel like your worth is on trial. Questions like, do I still matter to them? Was I enough? Can flood your mind, pulling you into a spiral of self-doubt. But let's be clear, your worth isn't measured by someone else's opinions, actions, or attention. It's measured by how you see yourself, how you show up for yourself, and the strength you've built through your journey. When you allow their behavior to shake your confidence, you hand over your power. And that's a power they don't deserve. Here's the truth. Validation from them will never sustain you. Replay their words all you want, but it won't change this fact. Your value isn't tied to their approval. True self-worth is cultivated from within. It's built on the times you've risen above challenges, the ways you've stayed true to your values, and the growth you've achieved despite the pain. As Marcus Aurelius said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Instead of questioning yourself, take a moment to honor your resilience. Think about the moments when you stood tall, even when life tried to knock you down. Maybe it's the way you've supported others, achieved goals, or simply found the courage to start over. Those moments define you, not their opinions or lack of acknowledgement. Here's a simple exercise. Next time their actions make you question your worth, write down 3 things you love about yourself. Focus on qualities no one else can take away. Your kindness, determination, humor, or anything that feels true to you. Keep this list close and read it whenever doubt creeps in. Remember, their opinions don't define you. You define you. You are whole, strong, and enough exactly as you are. Their inability to see your value doesn't diminish it. Take back your power, anchor yourself in your truth, and remind yourself, I am worthy, just as I am. Because that's the only truth that matters. Mistake number 5. Pushing your emotions aside. When your ex reaches out, the temptation to suppress your emotions can be overwhelming. You might think, if I ignore how I feel, it won't hurt as much. Or convince yourself that showing no emotion equals strength. But let's get one thing straight. Burying your feelings doesn't make them disappear. It only gives them more power to surface later, often in ways that leave you feeling even more out of control. Ignoring your emotions is like shutting your eyes while driving in a storm. You're not avoiding the danger, you're just bracing for the inevitable crash. Emotions exist for a reason. They're your mind and body's way of processing experiences. Anger might be there to remind you of crossed boundaries. Sadness might signal the weight of what you've lost. Even longing, as uncomfortable as it is, points to parts of you still seeking closure. The Stoics didn't advocate running from emotions. Instead, they taught us to face them with courage. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." The real strength lies in acknowledging your feelings, not ignoring them. Here's the truth. Suppressed emotions don't disappear. They linger, grow, and eventually demand attention. They might show up as a sudden outburst, exhaustion, or a sense of numbness that clouds everything, not just your pain. That's not strength, it's avoidance. And avoidance denies you the chance to truly heal and grow. So, what should you do instead? Start by naming your emotions. Find a quiet space. Breathe deeply and ask yourself, what am I really feeling? Maybe it's fear, anger, relief, or even a mix of emotions that don't seem to make sense. Whatever comes up, don't judge it. Just let it be. Acknowledge it and remind yourself that emotions are temporary visitors, not permanent residents. Next, process these feelings constructively. Journaling can be a game changer. Pour out everything swirling in your head onto paper. Write without worrying about grammar, structure, or judgment. Let the page hold your pain, anger, confusion, or hope. Meditation can also help you sit with your feelings without letting them overwhelm you. Imagine each emotion as a wave. Let it rise, let it crest, and let it fall. By allowing yourself to feel fully, you're not letting the emotions control you. You're letting them flow through you. This process isn't about eliminating your emotions. It's about understanding them and responding with clarity. When you embrace what you're feeling, you take the power back. Instead of letting emotions drive your actions, you become the calm in the storm. And as the storm passes, you'll realize something profound. The emotions that once felt so overpowering no longer have a grip on you. You are not weak for feeling. You're human. And honoring your emotions is the path to becoming stronger, wiser, and more resilient. So the next time you're tempted to push those feelings aside, remind yourself, I am the master of my emotions. Drop it in the comments. Because when you face your emotions head-on, you're not just surviving, you're thriving. Mistake number 6, clinging to the past for resolution. When your ex reaches out, it's easy to get swept up in the flood of emotions. A part of you whispers, maybe this time things will be different. Maybe we can start fresh. But here's the reality. Hoping that reconciliation will solve everything is like trying to patch a sinking boat with duct tape. It might hold for a moment, but eventually the cracks will reappear and the boat will sink all over again. Relationships don't fall apart without reason. There were unresolved issues, broken trust, or unmet needs that led to the separation in the first place. Without addressing these core problems, revisiting the relationship means just replaying the same old struggles. Ask yourself, are you really yearning for love, or are you clinging to the comfort of familiarity? Nostalgia has a funny way of distorting reality. It magnifies the good moments while conveniently erasing the painful ones. This is where Stoic wisdom comes in. Marcus Aurelius wisely said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Chasing reconciliation means putting your happiness in someone else's hands, as if their return will make everything better. But here's the truth. You are already whole. You don't need someone to complete you, and you certainly don't need to go back to something that hurt you before. Think deeply about why you believe reconciliation will fix everything. Is it because you fear being alone? Or because you doubt you'll find something better? These feelings are natural, but they're not the truth. You left, or were left, for a reason, and that reason hasn't disappeared. Without real change from both sides, reconciliation is simply a cycle of disappointment, not a solution. Instead of chasing what once was, shift your focus to what could be. What kind of love do you truly deserve? What kind of partner aligns with the person you're becoming? Those answers aren't found in your ex, they're found in you. By letting go of the past, you open up space for something healthier, stronger, and more fulfilling, something that doesn't require you to shrink yourself to fit. Take a moment to reflect on why the relationship ended. Write it down if needed. Then ask yourself, am I willing to settle for the same old patterns, or do I deserve better? You deserve a love that uplifts you, not one that drags you back. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I deserve love that aligns with my growth. The past is a lesson, not a destination. Trust that your future holds something far better than what you've left behind. Mistake number 7, letting the past dictate your path forward. Here's the deal. When your ex reaches out, It's easy to get trapped in the flood of memories. Suddenly, everything from the past relationship feels fresh. Good times, bad times, regrets and what-ifs, all coming at you like a tidal wave. But here's the truth you need to hear. Your past doesn't have the power to control your future unless you let it. It's a chapter, not the entire book. The more you focus on what was, the more you rob yourself of what could be. You've heard the saying, your thoughts create your reality, right? Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic philosopher, once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." So ask yourself, are your thoughts anchored in the past, holding you back, or are you using them as stepping stones to move forward? You get to decide. Dwelling on the past only keeps you stuck in a loop of nostalgia and pain, while the future is waiting for you to take control of it. The relationship was a part of your life's journey, but it doesn't get to dictate your next steps. The real question is, what's waiting for you on the other side of this moment? You don't have to stay in yesterday's story. You can create a new narrative, one that's all about growth, possibility, and self-empowerment. What would happen if you channeled all that energy you're putting into your ex into something that's yours to build? Imagine how much stronger, bolder, and more confident you could become. Every moment you spend caught in the past is a moment you could be spending crafting a future full of exciting new opportunities. You get to decide what your next chapter looks like. Your story is far from over. So, ask yourself, what's one small step you can take today to start building your future? Maybe it's starting a new project, making a fresh connection, or simply taking time for yourself. Whatever it is, take that step, because the power to shape your life is in your hands, not anyone else's. Remember this: you are not defined by your past, but by the way you rise above it. Drop an affirmation in the comments. I am the creator of my future, and it's going to be incredible. Reclaim your power. Write your story. The best is yet to come. Conclusion. At the end of the day, your journey is yours alone, and the power to shape your future is in your hands. The mistakes we've discussed today aren't just traps to avoid, they're opportunities to reclaim your strength, your confidence, and your self-worth. By resisting the urge to respond impulsively, seeking closure from within, and not letting the past dictate your future, you're choosing growth over stagnation, peace over turmoil, and empowerment over regret. You've learned lessons through the challenges, and now it's time to honor them. Your value doesn't depend on anyone else's actions or words. It's rooted in your ability to stand tall, honor your emotions, and move forward with intention and strength. The next chapter of your story is waiting, and it's full of endless possibilities. Remember, you are worthy, you are enough, and you are capable of creating a future far brighter than your past. Keep growing, keep evolving, and always trust that you hold the pen to your own story. The best is yet to come, so go out there and make it happen.